Hello, so today we are going to be doing an experiment on whether tea is dangerous or not. So what you need for this experiment is you need a blender with a selection of foods, a jug or glass, and then a bowl full with hot water and tea bags. So what I've already done, just for the sake of the video, is in this bowl here I've put 5 or 6 tea bags and then put hot water in them. You want to leave them to stew for about 10 minutes just so you get a strong enough tea. And then what I've also done is I've blended up my food already. So in here I have a large amount of water and then some spinach in there. So that's the food I've chosen to do today. So what you need to do, have your tea ready and then you blend this up so it's kind of a watery consistency. I just need to redo that. Perfect. So what we want to do at this stage is we want to be able to filter this. So if you've got a coffee filter or kind of a funnel at home, that's a really good way of doing this. However, I do not. So we're going to make a homemade filter using kitchen paper, which you get a few sheets in squares, fold them in half, like so, and then fold it in half again. So now you have a square like this, and what you can do is open one of the folds, and you will have a pocket. The reason I've used multiple sheets is because sometimes with one sheet, if it gets too wet, it's just going to rip, and then the idea of what you want to actually do isn't going to work properly. So you will put that in your jug, like so. And then your food mixture needs to then go in the filter. And you should have some material filtered out. The reason we're doing this is because the hope for today's experiment, depending on which foods you choose, is to find out iron content in the foods. If you have bits of kind of, in my case, spinach or other foods present, then you're just going to see floating bits and you might think that you have iron, whereas you're just going to have broken up food. So what we should have here is a liquid that has no solid bits in it. If you do it, but you still have a little bit of solid in, you just start over again, as in pour it back through another filter into another cup, and just do it a few times if you need to. That right there should be enough liquid. So just get rid of that. And then what we have here is our food puree. So what we are doing today is we are kind of doing a process called chelation. So inside tea, there are these things called tannins, and tannins are used in a lot of different things to help us out, such as tanning leather, so it's used to kind of make leather the way that we know it. But these tannins also do something else, and what it does is in food, it will bind to the iron. So if you drink a lot of cups of tea, then you are going to be introducing these tannins into your bloodstream. And this is bad because you have some spinach and you need your iron for a lot of different things. Think back to where you might have learned about it before and what we use iron for in the body. But if we are drinking a lot of tea, then these irons, this iron no longer stays dissolved. What happens, just be careful with this stage. By now, if you left it long enough, your tea won't be that hot, so it'll be easily pourable. And we will just stir this. What happens at this stage is that the tannins, through this process called chelation, will bond with the iron. And what will happen is that you will get little black solids forming, also known as a precipitate. And this solid is where the iron has kind of been drawn out of the food, and then that won't be able to be absorbed into the blood anymore. So we won't be getting iron inside our blood because it will be drawn out by the cups of tea and then excreted without us getting any of the benefits of it. So there are a few issues if you drink too much tea that you'll have low iron content. So what we do at this point is you can get the spoon out, and there's little bits of black solid floating around in the tea. If you have scales and kind of a really good filter, you can then find the mass of the precipitate that you formed, depending on the different foods, and compare. What you can also do in this case is you can look and see how much black precipitate has formed. So in the case of spinach, there's a lot of iron present in it. So I have a liquid with lots of little black specks in it now, and that will be the little kind of precipitates formed from the iron in the spinach. Other foods that are high in iron, such as cornflakes, will have the same effect, but then you will find with other foods that you will not get any precipitate at all. So you could do multiple different foods, blend them up, and then compare them to see which one has the most iron. So that's the experiment gone through. Try do it at home, and then give a go at the questions to just try and figure out how that links to your kind of science curriculum. Thank you.